What is going on, DJ Nation? Kenny Kim here, bringing you another Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast this week for the ProCore Championship. As usual, I am here with everybody's favorite South African, Byron Lindeque. Byron, what is up, my friend?
Kenny, a little nervous, not for the ProCore, but for the Jets versus the Niners tonight. I see my quarterback to get through the game, and I'm going to be thrilled, but it's some golf. Let's chat some golf.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to break his leg.
The fact is, you take that back right now. None of that bullshit.
As usual, our pod is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. They got a new deal going down right now. It's really good football starting. Like, basically, I've been crushing on Underdog all year. Make sure you get the Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Mayo. Get a 50% deposit bonus up to $2,000. So you can get $1,000 deposit bonus if you put in $2,000 bucks. Yeah, you can't beat that. Go use that. Go use that for NFL and the 8 fall swing events that we have now. Instead of 7 last year, we have 8. And we're back for this one, the ProCore Championship. Do you know what ProCore is?
No, I've just been using the parkour Michael Scott meme, for the last little while. But
ProCore is a construction management software. I have had meetings with that company. It's what most big construction companies use. And the reason I say big is because it's about $40,000 a year for their software. So we were like, we're going to end up using that at some point in time in the business I'm in, but not in the first 4 years, because that's almost 2 payrolls right there for a year's worth of that project management. But it's ProCore. That's the thing. I guess the last event we saw was a Tour Championship. Who the fuck cares? I didn't even watch, really. So we can just move on from that. Scheffler wins $874 million this past season, wins 32 events, and he is the FedEx Cup Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think he won
Tour Championship,
$800K per round this year.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
It
was insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So it was a good year. Good year. Up over 60 units, over $3,000 in gambling, in golf betting with 7 outrights, 30 each way hits for the regular season. I think 30-something events. It's not bad.
That's actually very solid, Kenny. I'm proud of you. That's incredible stuff.
I'm bitter because I had Hideki in his last win, and remember I took that bet off because he said he got robbed before the goddamn tournament, and his caddy and his coach couldn't show up because they got their passports taken. And so I was like, okay, I can't bet on Hideki. It's going to be weird for him. He goes out and wins. So I'm still bitter about it. You remember shit like that instead of the 75-1, Pendrith hit, right? The 28-1 Scotty Scheffler players live bet. Yeah, I do remember those. But the first thing that comes to mind is fucking that Hideki bet, right? The year before, the first thing that came to mind, I think he had 5 hits. The first thing that came to mind was Colin Morikawa giving up a 6-stroke lead at the Century. That's just the name of the game. When it comes to sports betting, you always remember the bad beats, and the wins are what's supposed to happen, which is not the way it really should be, right?
2 lessons, Kenny. Never bet Colin Morikawa to win a tournament.
Yeah, I know, right?
And never take your bet back.
He won the Tour Championship. The shadow leaderboard.
Sure. That is the absolute summary of Colin Morikawa's season. Winning shit that he actually didn't win, finishing second all the goddamn time.
No.
And then never take your bets back. Once you put that on the show, Kenny, it's a go. No backpedaling, no Hideki backpedals. Yeah. Stick with it, baby.
That shit hurt. But still, and then of course, $13,000 in profit on Underdog Fantasy. That's why we need to go to Underdog Fantasy. I will say I lost to DFS. Not shocking. Yeah. I lost about $2,800 in DFS. And that's not horrible, but it's not great.
Did you know the splits between cash and GPP?
Yeah, I won almost 60. I won a little bit over 60% in cash. But my last couple of months in GPPs, there were times where I was winning in cash and winning nothing in GBPs. Like, I would have like $200, $250 in GBPs. I was getting back nothing. So that's why we play cash. But 60% when you're getting nothing back in GBPs, not enough. I think the best return I had ever, I think I had a 78% win percentage in 2018 in cash, which is, I mean, I'll never be able to replicate that. That was like like God touched me like that year when it came to DFS and cash. I think I had like an 86. I think I had like an 86% made cut percentage in my cash game. It was just the most insane year. That's when the pot started getting big. That's when I was doing a lot of Kenny After Dark back then. I don't know if you guys remember Kenny After Dark. I was a server back then, and I was up till 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning every day for one reason or another. And I just started blowing out these random stats, and people sort of liked them. I can't do that anymore because I go to sleep at like 10 o'clock because I'm an old man, and I am not young anymore. Even though I don't know, I feel like the bandana sort of makes me look young with the Rafael Nadal hair like behind it. Like I need a haircut, but like the shit looks sort of smooth with the bandana.
You look good.
Sort of fuck with it. We're gearing up for the President's Cup, of course, as you guys know. In a couple of weeks, we head on over to Montreal. So you can please remember also when I will be there, I'll be wearing the Korea Sungjae Im jersey, which you can see right here, made by the guys at kickbackgolf.com. Make sure you go to kickbackgolf.com. Use promo code FGD15 right there. Byron is showing you the John Daly Arizona Razorbacks basketball jersey. I got the Sungjae Im. They got Koepka, Tiger Woods, Hideki, Scheffler, Bryson. They got every golfer that you want. So make sure you go out to kickbackgolf.com. Use promo code FGD15 and get yourself 15% off all of their merchandise. Really cool stuff. Great for gifts. Great for birthdays for your favorite golfing friend. Great for the holidays, presents. So make sure you get on that because I would like to receive some money.
Same. Absolutely. Montreal is going to break me. So I need, guys, if you're going to just buy them all, for us and subsidize the Montreal trip. The more money we have to spend, the better the content will be for you guys.
I got $10K to blow. In Montreal. 5,000 in cash and 5,000 in
stripper coupons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that should be enough. It depends on the casino. It depends. And then we have picked the restaurant as well. And Tim has already bitched about it, talking about if they serve chicken tenders at this place called Montreal Plaza, which is like one of the top 50 restaurants in like the world. So that is where we're headed. Tim asked for chicken tenders, but I think I talked him down. I was like, look, Tim, basically I'm covering like 1,500 of this meal. All right. Yes. 1,500 Canadian, basically. I'll cover 1,000 American. It's Canadian. The Canadian money is not great. So, my dollars go a little farther there. But it's probably not. So I got $1,000 American that I'll cover. I'm basically taking care of Tim's meal. You probably won't have to pay. So, it's more camaraderie going into it. And I picked the place. It's a really nice restaurant, but it has sort of like a raucous vibe. Because if we went to some fine dining establishment with the 10 of us, I don't know how that would go.
So get kicked out on like meal number 2. Like there's no way we're getting an 8-course meal.
8-course tasting meal with a wine pairing. If you'd like, they actually have caviar flights. That's the one that got me.
Caviar flights.
I am going to be having a caviar flight. I can tell you that.
Okay, buddy.
When I get there, give me the little bellinis. Give me a little bit of chopped egg, chopped parsley, a little bit of pickled onions, a little creme fraiche. We're going to be good to go. So, my favorite thing to do for caviar. And the fall, like, don't mean shit. Have we talked about golf yet? Anyways.
Spoke about Tour Champs.
There we go.
Yeah.
But, like, what I like to do is I like to go to Whole Foods. Whole Foods by my house. They have, like, those little pizza joints that are, like, inside the Whole Foods. So I get myself, and I stole this from Bobby Axelrod from Billions, where you get a nice slice of cheese pizza, like your favorite slice of cheese pizza. And then I pick up an ounce of Ossetia caviar. It's like $100, right? And then you go and just put dollops of caviar on every bite of that cheese pizza. It's delicious. It's a great way to start. Like if you're unfamiliar with caviar and you want to try it, but you don't want to try it like in a setting like a fine dining place because you don't know what you're doing, because there is a system. Like you can't touch anything metal to the egg, because if anything metal touches a caviar egg, it oxidizes the egg and you lose the flavor, and you also lose the texture. Because one of the cool things about caviar is the texture. Like good caviar, like it has that firm texture. It doesn't just really melt. You got to put a little pressure on it and it pops, and then the little baby fishies fall into your mouth, and it's just delicious. It is delicious. It is delicious. But like if you're afraid to try it and you want to try it for the first time, I suggest going the Bobby Axelrod route. Get yourself a slice of, cheese pizza, your favorite single slice of cheese pizza, and get yourself an ounce of caviar. Put it on there. It's going to be an eye-opening experience. Another thing I want to do from that show is, have you ever watched Billions, Mike? Byron, either one of you?
It's a great show. I love Billions, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he has that chef come to his house and they eat that little baby bird. I forget what the name of the bird is, but it's against the law to eat it everywhere in the world, except I think France. I think France is the only place in the world where you're allowed to eat this little bird, because it's I think it might be getting endangered or something. I don't know. It's basically illegal in the United States, and you could find people doing like underground dinners and stuff like that. But it's a small little baby bird, and they cook it, and it's whole, bones, beaks, everything still a part of the bird, right? And you're supposed to put like on this big old hat, and it's supposed to condense the smell and the flavor, like when you eat it. And you have to eat the bird in one bite. So they're small little birds.
It's not alive, is it?
No, you cook it.
Okay,
like,
yeah,
it's cooked. It's cooked. And then you sniff it, and like you breathe in like the aroma underneath like this big veil, right? And because it's supposed to like stay, because it's supposed to be like people don't see you eating it, because it's not like very sexy. Because you literally got to put the whole fucking thing in your mouth, right? So you put the whole thing in your mouth and you chew, and it's supposed to be the best tasting bird in the world. And that is something I would like to try. Montreal is close to is French. Maybe they allow it. If we can find some place like that to do it, I will drop the fucking money. I will drop the fucking money to go ahead and do that. I know you're looking forward to Montreal. Talk a little bit about that while I look up this bird's name.
Okay, don't they also eat this bird in succession, but in New York City, and the guy's like, well, this is illegal, but we're so rich we can just eat it wherever. Also, while you were speaking about underground stuff, Kenny, one of my favorite episodes of Frasier, I love Frasier, by the way, is the Black Market Caviar episode, where they land up, like, I'm not going to ruin it, but go watch the Black Market Caviar episode if you haven't watched Frasier.
You can spoil a show that's been off the air for 20 years.
I don't know, but I'm not going to suggest to people to go watch it if I'm going to ruin that. You know what I'm saying? Like, go watch it, maybe, whatever. But it's just the two brothers just getting in it, like it's quite hilarious. So,
over caviar? I love caviar. It's delicious.
Yeah. I've had it a few times. It's tasty too. Yeah.
I am a fan. Now, okay. The bird is called ortolan. Ortolan. These birds, okay, this is why they don't do it, because it's definitely cruel as fuck. Okay, so these birds, they're drowned alive into a vat of Armagnac brandy. So they have like a big old tub of Armagnac brandy, and they just throw the birds in there and drown. And so while they're drowning, they get the brandy essence all over them and inside. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. I mean, do you know how they make veal? Like baby cows, which is delicious. What they do is they chain them to a fence and just feed them until they die. Same with foie gras. Foie gras, they take live goose, put a tube down their throat, and overfeed them.
All right,
until they die.
Let's move on. Yeah, this is grossing me the fuck out.
Hey, look, here's the thing. I
hate this kind of stuff.
Delicious shit. Sometimes animals gotta suffer. I'm sorry.
No,
you know what I'm saying? That's why we're human. We're like numero uno. We're on the top. We can do this shit, right? We should not feel bad about this. It is the nature of law. We are the kings of the jungle, right? We kill animals. We eat them. This is what men do, right? So I mean, I don't know. All that shit fucking bothers me. These are now if it's like a pet, that's different. That's fucking different.
Kill things humanely, Kenny. That's what the whole point about being.
Yeah, but you can't make them as delicious.
Those that look after you
can't make them as delicious as possible sometimes if you kill them humanely.
Yeah.
Like foie gras is delicious.
If you never like the taste of guilt,
if you killed them humanely, you would never have foie gras. We would never have veal. We would never have ortolan. And so they roast ortolan, and then they put the veal over, and then you got to eat it whole. But anyways. Let's move on. What should we talk about next? Should we go into golf?
Let's get into some golf. We'll see what happens after we're done with the golf side of things. I don't really have too many bets or anything either. So,
all right, let's go pay some bills, and we'll be right back. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. I personally like the pick'em games. Pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. Can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Can also make rivals picks, which pits 2 players against each other. Now, the reason I like the pick'em games is because of these things called scorchers. There's these little chili peppers next to the golfers' names, and if you click on that, it adds to your multiplier, so you can win even more money. Sign up today with promo code Mayo and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. As well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or over and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, we are back, and as you know, our Underdog Fantasy segment is now going to be on Byron's show, Back 9 Bets, every Tuesday right at 7 o'clock. It'll be the first 10 minutes of his show. Byron and I will go over our plays for Underdog. Use promo code Mayo. Get yourself a deposit match bonus up to 50%, all the way up to $2,000. So let's actually begin our kickback golf betting segment for this week. We're actually going back into the golf. No more food. Let's talk about golf for the ProCore Championship. Byron, what bets are you doing this week?
All right, so I'm going to give you my outrights first, Kenny. I've got 2, and then I'll let you go your outrights, and I'll give you some bets after that too. So I've got Sahith Theegala, rolling with him at 12-1. Guy's incredible. Yeah, I loved what he got up to at the Tour Champs. What? Bro, you're just talking about in golf, like drowning birds in liquor, and now you're judging a 12-1 bet on me.
I'm judging the 12-1 Theegala bet. I'm definitely judging that. I apologize. You're 100% right. I should not be judging that. Really? After my judgments on killing pretty animals for food. But go ahead.
Okay, so if Kenny will allow me to, I have bet Sahith Theegala at 12-1. Defending champ, he's going to be coming back here to win this thing. He was crushing it at the Tour Championships. I mean, he's in the best form of this field. Max Homa, Wyndham Clark are pretty much at the top of the board there. I don't really have too much interest in either of them. Sahith in California is the new Max Homa, in my opinion. So I think, going back to a venue like this, field's kind of top heavy, not too many other guys that can really win this damn thing if Sahith plays well. So I'd trust him to kind of get it done at 12-1. I'll take it. It's a dirty ass number, but I'm curious to see who you're throwing out there instead of a 12-1 Sahith Theegala. But I'll take my nice little ribeye cow there that's been feeding on the nice open pasture grass and go there. My other bet is a Bud Carley at plus 20, 275-1, folks. Bud Carley's got two top 15s, a 7th and a 14th, I believe, at this venue, 275 to 1. If I hit this, I can buy some caviar for myself when I get to Montreal, and I think that's going to be the fun one. It's just a massive sprinkle. You're not really wasting too much money when you are going to a 275 to 1 option. So he's played good golf here. This golf course kind of suits his game. Had a bit of a break. Maybe he comes back, puts some lights out on a golf course that he's played well at before. So we'll see what happens there.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't bitch because my first bet's going to be Maverick McNeely at 20 to 1. A guy who's never won before, but he is coming in with 8 straight top 20s to finish his season. Really had a good showing at the BMW Championship. Almost got himself into the Tour Championship. I think he was just a couple of spots out. Now, or into the BMW Championship. I don't think he got into. I think he didn't get into the BMW Championship. FedEx Cup or FedEx St. Jude is the one where he did well and almost made it in. Now he is like 53rd in the rankings, and there is some important shit going on this fall. Like the way the fall works, the top 10. So and you take all your points from earlier in the season and they roll over. Okay. And so number 51 to 60, they will get into the first 2, the designated events, signature events that aren't the Century. So it gives them a leg up to get the points to continue being in those signature events. So being 51 to 60, really important. It gets you that start, and it probably gets you into the majority of the signature events as long as you don't finish bottom half each time, right? You finish top half each time. I think that would be enough to get you into the next event and get you enough points to keep playing those signature events. And that's really where everyone wants to be nowadays. I mean, golf has changed now, right? The goal is to make it and play in these no cut signature events to make the money. And once you're in there, it's a lot easier to stay because you're making more money. There's no cut, right? And so everyone's trying to get there, and he's there right now inside that ranking. And I think these guys know it, how big of a deal this is. And I think he's going to play well, and I think that's why you're going to see him a bunch in the fall to try and keep his position locked up. I like Maverick McNeely, 20 to 1 with 8 places. Next is going to be JJ Spawn, 25 to 1 at 8 places. There are better numbers, but I use one book. You should shop if you're a big time gambler. Yes, you should shop. We're doing a hobby, whatever. Right. And for me, it's a hobby, right? I'm sorry. I'm not fucking Kevin Kisner, even though golf is probably a hobby for Kevin Kisner now. But JJ Spawn, a couple of a 5th and a 12th in his last couple of events to end the season, has played this event very, very well throughout his career. And, he's a tour winner at least once, maybe twice, at least once. And I was on that one. I think it was 110 to 1. A couple of years ago. So that was one of I think that was my first triple digit winner, I think. So this is something you remember. So I'm going to go ahead and use JD Spawn 25 to 1. Eric Cole. This is my headline bet. This is the man I think that really will win. This week, I think Eric Cole is going to win. He played well towards the end of the season. I think this course suits up well for him. He's played well at this course in the past. If he's going to win an event, right, you would think fall would probably be a good time, right? Now he's already in. So he's just playing because this motherfucker is like the white Sungjae, right? He's like, I'm just going to go out and rock this shit every fucking week till I die. Just got married too. Fuck it. Playing every week. Playing mini tour events. He played a mini tour event last week, right? After the tour championship, mini tour event last week, right? And he just got married. He's like, fuck my wife. I don't care. I'm just going to play every goddamn week. So that's going to be Eric Cole for you.
That was in the prenup. He's like, okay, if you don't let me play more than 30 events a year, we're done.
33 to 1 for him, 8 places. I'm going with the guy I hate, Matt Kuchar, 45 to 1. We saw some flashes of him at the end of the year. Probably should have won one event, right? But did he choke it at the end? I'm trying to remember if he won or he didn't win. Right?
He's done it so many times, Kenny. He just doesn't He just doesn't got it.
I'll take the 8 places though with him, no doubt. Yes. And then I got Gary Woodland 75-1. I just like the number. I think he's talented enough where he can come into this field and play well. He's been good on, tightish, shortish type courses before in California. We've seen it, right? So, I'll take him 75-1 to 8 places. What are your other bets, my friend?
I want to just, before we do that, Kenny, let's do a little on the couch type situation here, because I'm just not in the mood to bet outrights anymore because I hit only 2 this whole entire season. I had 9.
Can't give up, man. I've had seasons where I went 3. And I've had,
but I had nine runner-ups, like a lot of close calls, some guys that really choked it away. But it just feels like, when you miss out on those opportunities, okay, fuck, like now. So what? Like, just keep going? Do I change some stuff up? Like, because I'll be honest with you. I'm very transparent when it comes to betting. I broke even this year. In my Breaking 100 article, I lost over $200 in the outright market. But my placements, I won $230.
Yeah, but if you hit
that's my jam.
If you hit like 1 or 2 of those outrights, that's all it takes to make that money back. 1 or 2.
Yeah,
right? It's not like you have to climb and get like 6 more to be able to break that even. It's 1 or 2. It's golf, right? We're not betting 10-1, 12-1 guys every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been times where I've been doing this. I've been doing betting. Betting's been a part of this show since 2018. And there was one year, I think 2019, 2020, in like a 52 week, in like a 1 year span, 40 event span, I had 17 runner-ups. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 17 in a season, in like the equivalent of one season. It was between 2 seasons of 40 events. You just keep doing what you're doing, plug away. I mean, there's no foolproof plan, or everybody would do it, or you know what I'm saying, like, right? I think you're playing it like I play DFS, right? Where you're doing your placement bets, and that's where you're winning your money, and then you hope to hit a GBP. Yeah. And I think that's the way you should keep on doing. You make your money, and then at some point in time, the tide will turn, the gods will shine on your dome, and then you will start hitting some of these bets. I can guarantee it. You're sharper than I am. I mean, like, what the fuck? I'm a fucking idiot over here just bullshitting about golf every once a week, right? And I can fucking get 7 outrights in a year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I would not give up on that. I would still do what you're doing. You play it like I do in DFS. You have the cash games for you. That's the placements. Keep doing that, and the outrights will come.
Yeah, and I guess what I was trying to endorse there is it's okay to suck in some markets. If you figure that you have to track your bets, exactly what you've been up to this regular season. If you don't do that, you will never know where you stand. If I didn't know that I'm struggling with the outright side of things, I've reduced how much I bet on that so that it's not really hurting me as much. And then maybe when I gain some momentum, I'll ramp it up again. But I want to make sure that I can profit regardless, So I just thought I'd put that out there, make sure people, this is one of my favorite things to do. It's like what I'm trying to become a professional at, a career at, is betting these placements and things like that. And I've been crushing that ever since I've come in the market. I know the outright side, unless Cam Smith's playing in a golf tournament.
And then another thing is, if that's something that you should key on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's plenty of people out there writing stuff about outrights. Those placements, if you're excellent at that, keep that shit right and keep doing you.
Absolutely.
Right? Don't worry about the outrights. Just throw those in just for yourself. You're great at those placements. You're amazing. And you could. I think that's the way you do what can succeed in what you want to do.
Exactly. And just to put it out there, I'm using, of my $100 for the article, I'm using 85 for placements, 10 for outrights, and then 5 for a little fun.
I don't even play placement bets. All I do is outrights.
I've been thinking, Kenny, about doing a segment with you to try and get you into placement betting and kind of walking you through it and seeing.
I already spent too much money. I can't spend. It's the budget thing. I'm not a rich
man. It's a different market. Yeah.
Come on, bro. I'm betting $350 a week there. I'm betting $400 to $500 a week in DFS. So that's $850, and I'm putting in at least $500 in underdog. So it's almost $1,500 a week.
Yeah, so then whatever you got left over, we'll round up. You just use that spare change placement bets, like whatever. We just figure it out. Just find one or two that you really like and we kind of walk through it. But either way, here are my boys for the Bubble Us bets. I got 3 of them this week, going kind of chalky for the first 2 and then kind of loading up on another guy. Sahith Theegala, all for top 20s, folks. Sahith Theegala at this golf course played incredible. Top 20, minus 170. Wyndham Clark as well, minus 150. So you're laying some serious juice there. But then you top it up with a little bit of Mac Masner caviar at plus 200 to get you to a 7-1 bet there for a top 23-leg parlay. The other 2 guys, Wyndham Clark and Sahith, pretty much finishing inside the top 20 in those designated events at a 50% clip. Now you put them in this field, you got to imagine that percentage just gets ramped the hell up. And then Mac Masner grades out incredibly well for me. So I'm going to be using him as well. His top 20 market has been really, really solid lately. So if you take Mac Masner's situation and take a quick peek at that, I'm trying to find him here real quick, but he's popping up real well. He doesn't have upside, but he's got tons and tons of like top 20s. 31% of them have been top 20s for Mac. So plus 200 gives you a nice little edge there too. And I think that's where we'll be going for that as well. I'll be betting Mac Masner alone for a top 20 on my show tomorrow on Back 9 Bets. So Mac plus 200 is kind of like the caviar on those Sahith Theegala, Wyndham Clark top 20 parlays.
All right, this sounds good. Let's win some fucking money on these bets. Let's do our thing.
Baby.
But now let's move on to this week. Let's talk about the ProCore Championship and the course. The PGA Tour heads to California for the Fortinet. No, I have this from last year. The ProCore Championship from Silverado Country Club's North Course. This event has been played in this course for the last 9 years, so looking at results prior to 2014 is not necessary. 5, I would say, I'm trying to remember, who won last year? Byron? Sahith, right? So, I'd say 5 of the last 9 winners have been good or great ball strikers. I don't know. Would you consider Sahith a great ball striker? Probably not, right?
Well, he's 6th in this field in ball striking.
There we go. Okay, so there you go. So maybe 6 out of the last 9 winners have been good, great ball strikers who have had issues with the flat stick. Of all these past winners, except Sink and Homa, the past 2 out of the last 3 years have been outside the top 100 in strokes gained putting for the year of their win. I think Cam Champ was like 136, Kevin Tway 129, Steele 189, Steele again 105, Griot 107.
Oh God, that's team no
time of their wins.
Sure,
yeah, at the time of their wins. So on the other side of the spectrum, all 8 winners of this event, or all the last 9 winners of this event, were all inside the top 76 in strokes gained tee to green for the year of their win. Homo was top 25 both times. Like all these guys were like all close to top 25 for the year in strokes gained tee to green. So this is the perfect event where guys who team no putt. This is the team no putt event right here. Now this course can play very firm and fast. One thing I noticed was how much more important short game is at this course with dry conditions. You can also see it in the score. You can see this go as low as minus 15 or as high as minus 15. And nowadays, that's a medium difficulty course. Maybe even a little bit above medium difficulty with the courses that we're now playing on tour that we see each week in and week out. And we've seen it as high as 21 under with Stewart Sink, and that was a little bit more wet conditions. So, short game, a little bit more important in these dry conditions. There hasn't been that much rain here recently. There's no rain in the forecast. So it should be crispy out there. Now, weather, of course, can play a factor here. Chilly morning temperatures playing havoc on distance control and high winds being the norm. The course is in a cakewalk. Like I said, the average winning score outside of Stewart Sink has been around minus 17. Now, Johnny Miller, who helped with the redesign of this Robert Trent Jones course, wants a major to come to Silverado, so they tend to keep the greens firm and not add too much water to soften them up. Speaking of Robert Trent Jones, I will be at the Solheim Cup this Saturday. I will actually not be at the Solheim Cup. I will be at my buddy's house who lives on Robert Trent Jones. And I will be watching, and I will be looking for Charlie Hall, smoking cigarettes and drinking tequila. That once I see her, I'll be good enough. So I will. So if you guys are there, I might be able to come down. I think he lives on the 11th hole. So there you go. You're going to be at Robert Trent Jones. Now, So they tend to keep the greens firm and not add too much water to soften them up. There are still usually plenty of birdies, though, as winners in the last few years have averaged over 20 birdies or better for the week. There was with little wind, of course. I haven't checked the wind forecast. Normally, you expect some good wind at this event, but we shall see as we get closer to Thursday. Now, Silverado Country Club's North Course is a 7,166 yard par 72 with the standard 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s. First designed by Robert Trent Jones, then redesigned by Johnny Miller in 2011. The 4 par 5s are the 4 easiest holes on the course, and the majority of golfers will attempt to reach them in 2. 7 of the 10 par 4s are between 400 and 450 yards. Only 1 is over 450 yards, depending on the tee boxes used. So you will see a lot of wedge, short iron play onto these greens, 100 to 150. 2 of the par 5s, par 3s are lengthy, over 200 yards. The other 2 fairly short, between 150 and 175. The course will have much different routing than previous years. I mean, it changed last year. So I don't know how much it's really going to affect the play, but for the TV viewership, it's actually made it better last year with the new routing. The off the tee golfers are going to see tight tree line fairways. The trees are mostly sporadic, though. It's not like, Pinehurst or like North Carolina where all those trees are bunched together. If you hit it over there, you're going to have some opportunities to finagle shots in between trees, and you're going to have enough room. The fairways themselves are very hilly with some slope, and golfers have to deal with fairway bunkers placed strategically in the landing areas. The rough around the fairway has 2 levels. The first cut of rough stretches out about 10 feet from the edge of the fairway and shouldn't be a problem for golfers because the length is minuscule. The main cut of rough is a blend of Kentucky bluegrass and rye, which can get gnarly, but this is sort of like a resort course. So the rough shouldn't get more than 2.5 to 3 inches in length. I did notice there's been years where it's been higher, but the lack of rain, I think this year will keep it around that normal length. The rough shouldn't be too bad to play out of as long as golfers miss on the correct side. There are quite a few dog legs, and missing on the wrong side could make approach shots more tricky, especially when you take into account the large trees throughout the course. Golfers that have a low ball flight, it could have a small disadvantage if they hit the ball in the rough off the tee because the greens can't play firm if there is no rain. I don't see any rain on the forecast. Now, on approach shots, golfers will see bent grass greens with POA that are average in size. Johnny Miller has stated in interviews that he wanted the greens to have an Augusta feel. So this shows the greens are slightly elevated and have a good amount of slope and undulation. Greenside bunkers are prevalent and most guard the front of the greens. And that's why, this course can play a little bit tough because with the greens being firm, you're in the rough. You have, if you're farther back, you're shorter, you can't really roll it up. The areas are very, very thin in that aspect because a lot of the bunkers, they make them in front of these greens. The greens can play firm with a stip meter rating of around 11.5. POA greens tend to get bumpy as the day goes on, but, golfers have said that this course is weird because the POA is really smooth. So I don't know if that's why you see shitty putters win this event often. I'm not sure. But, if you're looking for courses that are similar to Silverado, Riviera, TPC San Antonio, Quail Hollow, Scottsdale, Torrey Pines, even TPC Four Seasons. What are you looking for in golfers this week?
Yeah, I think you covered most of that, Kenny. I think just making sure you can keep your ball in play. Now, Sahith, the reason he thrived is because he can just short game his way around this, where correlations at this venue seem to have a higher percentage than to an average when it comes to short game. So you can kind of be one of those guys that can short game your way around you if you can do that with your skill set that you have. But keeping your ball in the fairway, like you mentioned, especially when it gets firm and hard and dry, you want to be able to have spin on your golf ball when you're hitting the greens and coming out of the rough. It's tricky to do. So I think that's a pretty simple situation. Some good course history here too, guys that are playing well on the West Coast, California boys, those kind of guys. I think that's what you're going to be looking for as well. And then just, good form kind of coming into the week. So that's basically what it's got for me too.
Let's get to these tiers. Now let's go to this 10K and up ratings. The first thing I want to talk about is Max Homa. A lot of people don't think he should have made the President's Cup team. I'm happy about it because he sucks and I want the Internationals to win. But I will say the last time he came out, he had one of his highest stroke gain approach numbers of his career. Now he also had one of the lowest stroke gain off the tee numbers of his career in the same week. So you could get happy that his iron game looks like. I mean, it was nice to see, but I think a lot of that had to do with how poorly he was off the tee. Because when it comes to stroke gain approach, that really is based upon stroke gain off the tee, right? Because you hit it to a certain area and you're consistently in a shitty place, and you hit those shitty shots average, which is still proximity is probably not great, right? Like a 200-yard approach from the rough. Let's just say the average is 40 feet, and he's hitting it to 38, right? And he's gaining strokes, but he's not really giving himself birdie chances, right? And that's sort of because he's hitting it so wayward off the tee, that from where he's hitting it, the average of people hitting it from that spot, the proximity is going to be far away. That's the thing about strokes gained approach numbers. You got to think about it in that type of aspect too. Like if a guy is really fucking horrible off the tee, more than likely that's going to give him a boost in his iron game. Hopefully.
That's why ball striking is nice to have, like, because they both together, like if you hit it well off the tee and hit it well with your irons, then you're golden, but if not, it'll net each other out. So
he's going to want to show the people, right? Because people are talking shit. It's not like this guy is not social media, like Scotty, and not give a fuck about anything but Jesus and golf, right? And his family. Like he has social media. He's been back on it. He's had to be hearing these rumblings. What do you and the rule's always been you play Homa on Homa courses. He's won this event twice in the last 3 years. What are you doing with Max Homa?
I think it's an ownership play, Kenny, because he's not the best play. Like if you're just looking for cash, I don't think I'm going to be playing him in cash. Like that's basically the theory here is he's just, of the three guys up top here, he's been struggling. I mean, he didn't make it to the Tour Championships. He was at the BMW playing well and then hit like multiple balls out of bounds. It's just like we don't really know what we're getting with him. He's too volatile right now. And even with Max, like he's 53rd in this fielding putting. Like that's what used to be his thing. Like when he was playing his best golf, he was putting well. He's not even doing that anymore. And the driver's off, like it's not even average, it's below average.
Now, here's the thing. Max, we've seen him lift his game up recently in team play, right? I mean, he's been excellent. It seems like, I forget which events. I know he's made the Ryder Cup last. I don't remember if he made the President's Cup before.
I think he went 4-0-1 at the President's.
I think, and you could tell, like, he's really up for, he's really, really up for this, right? I mean, those team competitions really get him motivated. It really wants to make him do well. Do you think they can give him a little bump in play where he knows that he has to improve and show people that he deserves to be on the team? We shall see. It was nice seeing him gaining over 6 strokes with his approaches the last time, even though he lost 8.5 off the tee. I like Wyndham Clark here, and I will play Homa if he's under 15% up. I think that would be enough for me to get a 25% of him and not die if he shits the bed, and be double the field ownership. That's probably how I would go. We'll see. But I like Wyndham Clark. Really good form coming in. There's one in California before, familiar with POA. His form is probably one of the best coming in. I think better than Sahith. So I like him better. So you want to do another bet? I mean, you're already at 16-ounce Butterfish.
Do we halve it? I mean, if I'm going to...
We can have it or double it. It's half or double. It's half or double.
What is a pound of Butterfish? What is a pound? How many ounces?
You're already at a pound.
Is that 16? Okay.
Yeah. You seem very confident in your fucking boy.
I know. I'm not like... I'm confident in Sahith. I'm not like super unconfident. Like, I'm not fading Wyndham. I want to play them both this week. You know what I'm saying? I want to bet Wyndham Clark to finish top 10. So I'm not going to take that bet. I'm just going to... The Butterfish bet, I think, I'm going to have to find a really good avenue to get into.
And we might have to replace the Butterfish bet. And I know, because, I mean, we have to figure out a way to be able to, like, present it to the people. And maybe we'll do, like, an alcohol bet. Like, you got to drink everything I drink. Wednesday night of the President's Cup, because Wednesdays when we go to dinner downtown, and I'm expecting to go to the casino afterwards, and then I don't know where we end up after that. I do know where I end up, but I'm not going to say it yet because of the wives and the girlfriends that might be listening to the show. So either that or you could just drink everything I drink that day.
I think
I will buy the drinks. I'll just buy 2 every time.
I will match you. I'll match you 1 for 1. That'll be fun. We might have to videotape like this. An hour check-in. We do like an hour check-in after each hour. We set an alarm, and then we'll like record it, and then
we'll do a little video. That's perfect. Perfect. All right. So let's move on. 9K range.
I just got the shivers.
I'm playing 9. Hey, we're gonna drink a lot of Crown Royal. Fuck it, we're gonna go crazy. I might even take some shots I don't even like just to fuck you over. One of my favorites, a gorilla fart. Have you ever had a gorilla fart? We're gonna have a gorilla fart. Oh, you know what? I don't even think you can make it anymore because Bacardi 151 is no longer in circulation. So a gorilla fart is Wild Turkey 101 and Bacardi 151. I had 3 of those on my 21st birthday at Virginia Tech, and the last thing I remember was falling out of the car onto the ground, onto the shoes of a police officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tyreek Hill situation.
Luckily, it's college town, and this was back then where they didn't give a fuck about safety as much now. And drunk college kid. My friends were like, "This is his 21st birthday." Like, okay. They actually helped me up. And like brought me into the fucking house. I don't know if that shit would work nowadays. I don't know.
It's Montreal. They're nice up there, I think. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They are not nice. They are not nice. No.
They are not nice. Is it like super rude French people?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Time's up.
I just watched 4 seasons of Emily in Paris, so I know
completely different
with rude French people.
Completely different.
Hey, look, underrated show.
Very underrated.
It is.
Underrated show.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Lily Collins. She's basically like a cross between Anne Hathaway and Emmy Russell. I've seen both of them naked, and it's nice.
Hey.
Like in the movies, like not in person. Yeah. I mean, why else would I watch Shameless? Emmy Russell titties bouncing in your face every fucking Sunday night. I mean, how could you not want to watch that? It also is a great show, and it created a superstar, I think, in the guy. I guess he's not a superstar because I don't know his name, but the guy who's the head chef in The Bear. So more TV there for you. And also, Anne Hathaway has a nude scene in a movie that I've seen on some porn site. So there you go. What were we talking about? 9K range.
The 9K range.
9K range, Maverick McNeely, my first cash game cornerstones. Like I said, he ended the season 8 straight top 20s here. To finish the season, a win is coming. I think the perfect time for him to win would be the fall. So give me a little bit of Maverick McNeely as my first cash game cornerstone. Second cash game cornerstone in the 9K range, JJ Spawn. We talked about him. Good run at the end of the season, has crushed this course in the past. 9,000. You might think it's too much. I think it's fair with this field. So I want to go ahead and have it be my second cash game cornerstone. There could be a third guy I'm using in cash in this 9K range, even though he's not a cornerstone. His name might be Brendan Todd. Runner-up here last year. A pretty good end of the season. Once again, his finishes didn't show it, but he had rounds where he was, in the mix and then would have one bad round to bring him back down to earth in the middle of the pack. But the guy has played well at the end of the year. Again, a guy who hits a shit ton of fucking fairways, right? Doesn't have to worry about sort of that weird Kentucky bluegrass and these hard greens. If he hits it into the rough, makes it a lot easier for him. So just give. I might be using him in cash. But I gotta say, GPP. You're not a fan of him. But what Luke Command is doing, I wouldn't bet him. Okay, what his number being the same as Max is, I think it's pretty silly, right? But how popular do you think Luke Command can get? Do you think he's going to be like super popular?
Dude, he's been playing well, man. Like it's been,
okay, no, he hasn't just been playing well. Listen to these numbers. Hold on, patient. There we go. Listen to these numbers from old boy here. If I can find the screenshot, which I cannot. There we go. Okay, so he's playing on the PGA Tour. I think he's played 12 rounds, 16 rounds total as a pro last year. So he doesn't have enough rounds to actually count for any stats. But if you expanded his stats to be enough, he would be first in strokes gained off the tee, first in greens and regulation, second in strokes gained approach, third in driving accuracy, fifth in driving like, what the fuck? He's a goddamn fucking robot. Like, how can you be in the top top 5 in all of these? Strokes gained off the tee, greens and regulation, strokes gained approach, driving accuracy, and driving distance. Top 5 in all. Small sample.
Small sample that happened at the Rocket Mortgage, the John Deere Classic, the Wyndham, the 3.
And we're at fucking Silverado.
Exactly. But what those stats aren't telling you is that if Scotty and the boys played those tournaments, that the stats would be the same, you know. But they're not. But just putting a little bit of the brakes on there, you know. But I do agree, he's playing incredibly well. I mean, in those finishes, it's the first amateur to have really 3 top 10s.
What his ownership is going to be?
It's going to be through the roof.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, it's DFS gets hype. Kenny, like the hype in DFS. It's like, oh, look, we want to be ahead on him. You know, we want to get his first win. I mean, those metrics, they're all phenomenal. Where's he from? Because I mean, because is he a California kid? Like, can he putt on power? Like, is that his jam? Like, you know, I think that's something I need to look into.
Where did he go to school? Oregon? I don't remember.
I don't know. We should probably have known this stuff.
I know.
But, I think he'll be popular, rightfully so. You know, he's playing amazing golf right now. So, but there's always other guys to go to.
Florida State is a Florida boy. I don't know. If he's going to be through the roof, I'm not going to play.
Yeah,
but because I mean that's just an easy fade. You're going to play an amateur being the highest owned golfer in the field, right? I mean, doesn't that just sound like what you should do? Fade, right?
Yes.
I mean, like even like no matter how much you like the guy, right? Just from like playing DFS, right? Just playing GPPs. You hear that an amateur is going to be the highest owned golfer in the field. I would feel like you would have to give up your DFS card if you didn't fade. Right?
And then he goes and wins this thing, and then we're all just sitting with.
I want to play him though. Like I'll give it up, maybe. I'll just suck at GPPs anyway. I can just fucking give it up. I don't want to give it up because I might want to play him. The guy is fucking incredible.
Just bet him in top 10.
Actually happens, but
this is how you bet, Kenny. Is if you fade a guy in DFS,
but his top 10 number's got to be what, like minus 180?
No, it'll be. I mean, Wyndham Clark's top 10 numbers plus 137. So it'll be like plus 180, plus 170. So it'll be.
I don't even know how to judge those numbers because I did not play those markets. Who do you like in 9K race?
Obviously, like Clanton, but you know, I think he's gonna be very popular. If I'm looking for some guys that I want to get a little bit of leverage on, Mav, I like Mav a lot. Minwoo Lee, he's a boom or bust guy. Like, you don't play him in cash, you play him in GPPs. I mean, this guy's got the same percentage for top 10 and top 20. You know, like it's when he's finishing inside the top 20, he's also finishing inside the top 10, but he's only doing that like 14% of the time. So it's not very good. Those are some guys I like. And then I think JJ Spahn right there with you, Kenny. He's really starting to show up. And I think when he finds himself in the mix, you know, he's one of the proven winners on the tour. Whereas Brendan Todd, Keith Mitchell, you know, even Maverick McNeely, those 3 guys are all like, sorry, the spotlight's a little too bright for me, but at 9,400, if Mav isn't super owned, I'm okay going there as well. So JJ, Mav, Minwoo.
Minwoo's interesting. Best putting surface.
Is it?
Yeah. So definitely interesting for a little Minwoo because I don't expect him to be super popular. It's not like he's been lighting the world on fire. But I think I could see. I like that play as like a pivot off Mav because I do think Mav might be a little bit popular, and I like him in cash, of course. And in cash, you don't really take into consideration ownership as much. All right, so let's move on to this 8K range. I like Eric Cole, third cash game cornerstone, coming in here. End of the year, finished pretty strong, has great finishes here. I think he lines up well for how this course plays. It's not overly long, so even though he's not long off the tee, it can still suit him. He's really good around the greens, well above average. With his wedges, he's actually he's the best in the field from 100 to 125 in the last 24 rounds. He's also been, the funny thing is you don't think of Eric as a huge bomber guy first in this field in strokes gained par 5 scoring in the last 24 rounds. There's 4 par 4s here. I like Eric Cole a lot. I think he wins this week. I think he is, if I had to take my 5 bets and I had to be like, who do you think is really going to win? It's Eric Cole. And because you know that he is, after what he's done in the last 18 months, you know he has the skill to win. Like, you have seen that already. That's something, his skill is good enough to win, to be, I think it's good enough to have at least one PGA Tour victory under his belt. And I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the fall with this type of field.
But wasn't he about to win this tournament last year? And then I think he lost like 2 strokes putting in the final round.
It might have been. I think he was runner up last year, so it's possible. Yes. Yeah. Other guys in this 8K range. I mean, like Doug Kim and Chan Kim, the 2 Koreans right there, both with the same last name. If they were in Korea, just to know, even though one's Kim and one's Kim, we said this before, no hard K sound in Korea. So there you go.
Well, you know.
Their numbers are amazing. Like, I don't even know how they've been playing here recently. I don't even know their course history, but like looking at their numbers, their stats in the last like 3 months, they're number 1 and number 6. So I mean, when it comes to this, I'd probably just ride that and play those 2 guys because I'm never a Bo Hostler guy, and maybe I should be because he had a nice little run at the end of the year. You saw him, at least up top of the leaderboard, at least one round, it seemed like in the last like 5 events he played, right? That's just what it seemed like with Bo, but God, I could never, he's just a goofy ass motherfucker. I just can't, his face like makes me angry.
So punchable.
Right? Yeah, like his face, like it just makes me so angry. Like I can't, like you shouldn't, like I'm pretty good at not having biases like that, right? But like something about him, and I'm looking at the clock, you got to finish by 7, don't you? My bad. I'll stop going crazy.
You're fine.
I'll stop going crazy, but like I hate the way he looks.
I've got the same issue with Shane Harry,
and like I'm like I play guys I don't like. I bet Kuchar this week. He's my most hated person like in the fucking world. But I can't get over Bo Hostler's face. I can't. It makes me angry. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm getting pissed fucking off. Like I'm getting angry about it because I'm visualizing his face in front of me. Like I can't get past it. Like, and I feel like I should because he's been playing decent golf. Like I said, like you've seen him on top of leaderboards, at least one round in like every event he fucking plays nowadays. But I can't play.
Yeah. Bo Hostler, 4th in the field in round 1 scoring, outside the top 30 and everything in the other 3. So that's
the reason first round leader.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go with him. Is just go with the Bo.
It'll make me angry. Like I'd be angry if I win. Like I'm like see that's the thing. Like I could win that first round leader, but I'd be like, I don't even want this $1,000. Man, fuck this shit. Just leave it in the account, not even withdraw it. That's probably what I did. Here's the Bo Hostler money. I'm just gonna lose. It's gonna be bad luck. Anyways, go ahead. My bad.
Just donate that to charity, Kenny. All right, so I'm in with you on Chan Kim. Doug Kim, the stats look amazing, but man, he has not had a top 5 in the last 12 months, so I'm out on that. I need to give some guys some upside. I'll take Patrick Rogers along with Eric Cole there with you as well. I think, Patrick Rogers on the West Coast, California kid as well. Let's see what he can do there. I mean, he's top 10 in strokes gained total over the last little while, so he's looking solid for me. And then give me a double Mackenzie Hughes and Mac Masner. 81, 8100. I think those guys at the bottom of the 8K range are both rank inside the top 10 for me. Mackenzie Hughes, best putter on the PGA planet. He's going to be fun at the President's Cup, by the way. You can have 13 putts on that golf course. playing alternate shot, by the way. There's 18 holes to play. And you can have 13 putts or chips based off of which tee you go off of. And that's why Mackenzie Hughes is on the team, because he's a short game beast. So there you have Mackenzie Hughes, a little tidbit. Mac Masner as well. I mean, this guy's been balling out. If you take a look at what his strokes gained has been over the last while, he's fifth in the field. Like, this guy's just well-rounded as fuck right now. He's playing some good golf. I mean, taking a look at his last few starts, 20th and 12th, with a little 59th there at the 3M. So Mac Masner, a top 20 magnet, the Mac magnet over there. So those two guys at the bottom, I'll be leaning into quite heavily in the 8K range.
7K, give me fucking Vegas. Give me Johnny motherfucking Vegas. My last outright win, which shouldn't have been my last outright win. Hideki should have been my last outright win. But Vegas is my last outright win at the 3M Open. 10 straight events, gaining strokes tee to green. Guy's been a ball striking fucking machine. I think in the last 10 events, I think he's gained strokes in the approach all 10, and he's lost strokes with his off the tee once. And I think it was minus 0.1 or something.
Third in the field in ball striking, 116th the short game.
Crushing it. I love this guy. Give me a little bit of Vegas. Again, I might be a little bit biased because I did win that Skrilla from him. But I do like him a lot. I want to play a lot of him in that 7K range. Nick Taylor Revenge?
It's not playing well enough right now.
No, you don't think so? You think it's just angry and just go out here and just hulk out? The guy has had 3 wins, in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's playing bad. Right? To have had that many wins and not make the team, you got to play really bad.
Charlie Hoffman's my final cash game cornerstone. I was having trouble here with this last cash game cornerstone because I had my other 2 guys already in. So I was down. I had to get this price, 7,400. I can't go up. I can't go down. I can go down. I can go down, but I can't go up. And I'm looking at 7,400 and down for cash. And Justin Sub, he misses a shit ton of cuts. I like him in GPPs. I went with Hoff because he ended the season. I think he made 5 straight cuts in a row. 2 top 12s, I think. In his final 3 events. So he has form. He's played this course well before in the past. Charlie seems like a wine drinker. I don't know why. It's just looking at him and his face, I feel like he likes a nice, petite Syrah to go with his steak or something like that, right? So I feel like Napa should be his neck of the woods. And if that's really the reason I'm going for it, I'm a fucking idiot. But really, He's had a good end of the season. He's played his course well before. I'm going to go with this. My cash game cornerstones for this week. They are going.
Before you do that, Kenny, can I try and convince you on Jacob Bridgman? Charlie Hoffman.
Okay, no, I have Bridgman marked. I'm going to play him.
Yes.
The reason why I don't didn't play him is I have no idea who the fuck he is.
Well, he has got a 31st,
clue.
a 19th, and a 12th in 3 of his last 4 starts. Charlie Hoffman, similar situation, but not nearly as much upside. I would go Bridgman as a cash game.
I don't know. Charlie had a 12th and a 3rd here recently, right?
I mean, maybe
his last 3 events.
The 3rd was an alternate event or what?
I mean, sure, but this field blows too. So,
right.
And the thing is, he's played this course before. It's hard for me to play a guy in cash who's never played a course before because we've seen instances where, especially golfers of Bridgman's ilk, where we're not sure yet, right? He's not a Oberg, he's not a Hovland when he came out. He's not a more. Like I said, I don't even know who the fuck guy is.
But he's playing all of these events for the first time.
I saw exactly. I know, and that's why I don't like playing those guys in GPP in cash because there's great golfers who, for some reason or another, suck at one course. Right? And you would not know that leading up to whatever career they had until they fucking started playing that course. So it gives me more peace of mind where I know the guy's played the course before. I know he knows what to do. I know he knows the intricacies of this course. And he's made the cut a shit times and he's contended maybe once or twice. So that's where I'm going with Charlie Hoffman. But I have Bridgman Bridgerman. I have him marked.
Cool. Good. As you should. I will do Bridgman. I'll do Andrew Putnam. Give me Sam Stevens. And then, quote old Pat, Augsburger. Let's go. Go me back on the West Coast. Daniel Berger. Think about a golf course that suits him. He's not like this booming drive guy, accuracy surgeon type stuff. Hit it down the fairway. Maybe the putter starts showing up. I mean, he's phenomenal for this kind of a venue. And then give me the Pearson Coody. This guy's also solid short game. He's been playing really good golf. Finally starting to be priced ahead of his brother now. So I think that's someone I'll be looking at. And then Ben Silverman. Boy, oh boy, has he got... if you're looking for another cheapo cash option, I think that's someone you can look at too. Ben Silverman in that range is someone I could definitely get behind. And Chad Raymond.
I got to
throw Chad Raymond out there too.
I got to pick one Korean, right? So SH Kim, I think he's at 7K. I'll go ahead with him. He was a runner-up here last year. What about this Kiefer guy? Not Kiefer Sutherland, not 24.
Johnny.
John Kiefer. Well, listen to this guy's finishes. He plays on the PGA Tour Americas, Latin American Tour. Here's his last 10 finishes on that tour. 3rd, 4th, winner, 2nd, 19th, 6th, 2nd, 5th. And this ain't like a world-beating field, right? Like the amount of space between the PGA Tour of America player and the PGA Tour players probably like this, probably in people's heads. It's not skill, right? Anyone who plays those tours, skill is great.
Yeah. And to be that consistent,
it's close. And this guy's running this shit. He's played like 0 rounds, like a PGA. This is his first tour event. He's $7,500 or $7,400.
75.
Right? I was like, okay. I was kidding about Bridgman. I've heard of him, but like I literally have never heard of this keeper.
Right. Neither have I until this week.
Like, what the fuck is 75? Like, who the fuck is this dude? And then I looked him up. I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude is just running shit over there in Latin Americas. You know, I don't know.
The king of the Americas.
Again, cash game cornerstones for this week for me are, so I don't know if Maverick McNeely 9,400, JG Spawn 9,000, Eric Cole 8,700, Charlie Hoffman 7,400. Anybody else in the 7K range you fuck with?
I said Chad Ramey. I do like
Zach Blair.
Zach Blair, great course fit. Yeah, go all the short guys.
All right, 6K range. Go ahead there, brother, because I have no fucking clue. I need your help.
Yeah, let's go with a little bit of Bud Coley. I think he's the guy I'm in the mood for a little bit over here. And then I think this Wen Yi Ding guy just showing up out of nowhere. He's
what
like,
the fuck is his name?
Yeah, Wen Yi Ding.
What?
$6,500. Wen Yi Ding. Yeah, that's about as he's grading out.
One more time.
Wen Yi Ding. W-H-E. I know there's no H's. Just
it sounds like old school English, like Dao Yi Do Wen Yi Ding. But you could put Ding. I don't know. That's a new one. That's another guy.
Shakespeare.
Yes.
Never heard of in my life again.
Neither me. But hey, he's.
I would remember that name for sure. I lost a lot of brain cells in my life. I forget a lot of shit. I would remember Wen Yi Ding.
Wen Yi Ding. When he dings, he dings. So let's
tell me about when he ding.
I just know that he's grading out really well. I mean, strokes gained total, if you combine all the places he's played at across from the Shakespearean stages to, tours wherever he's been, he's 35th in the field in strokes gained total. So that's something to go off of. We don't know much about him, but that's what I do know is when Yi Ding is going to be the way we go here. So that's someone there. And then from a ball striking perspective, at 60, we're going in a field like this, when you're going down to the bottom of the barrel, you're looking at some bad names. I'll go with a little bit of Rafael Campos. I like him at $6,300. He's a ball striking beast. If if he falls in that mojo that you have, but he's been playing really badly, Kenny. But, if you're taking a gamble on someone, take a gamble on him down here. And then, maybe Mike Weir. Just these guys that like to show up. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to try and show the people what's up here. On a course like this, Mike Weir. Let's see what he can do. I don't know.
Nick Hardy, 6,900. At least, tee to green, iron game, definitely strong. Kelly Craft, iron game. You've seen him in a couple times in the middle of the season where he's been, around in the first or couple rounds of a tournament. A shitty ass tournament like this. At that price, why not? Roger Sloan, again, really good wedge player. Good with his irons. Has won on the PGA Tour, I think, at least an alt event, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about that. But I'm going to play him. And Russell Knox, just because, to suck balls for as long as he's been sucking balls and to still make the cut here every fucking year.
Yeah.
I think that says something.
There's something
right?
to it.
Like, the guy has just not been himself for 3-4 years, right?
Sure.
Well, every time he comes here, he makes the cut. I mean, it's got to mean something. It's got to mean something. Anybody else?
I think maybe Danny Willett is in the same vein as Russell Knox. Played nicely. He lost to Max. So,
yep. All right. I think we're good to go. Tell them where they can find you.
Catch me at Back 9 Bets tomorrow. Me and Kenny will start the show off there at 7 Eastern on Mayo Media Network at the Model Maniac on X. We will be flexing our stuff over there. And that's pretty much where all my stuff is. All my Rotorball articles will be over there for y'all to read this week.
All right, remember, go to kickbackgolf.com. Use promo code FGD15. Get yourself 15% off all of their merchandise. They got golfer name jerseys. Everybody, it's cool. Go buy it now. Also, thank you to Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Mayo. Get yourself a deposit bonus up to 50% of your deposit, up to $2,000. You can find me on Twitter at KendoVT. You can find my article every week on GubsCorner.com. Use promo code Kenny. Save yourself 30% on a membership to Gubs Corner. Should be a fun week. First week of this fall swing. We got the President's Cup next. It's going to be tight. Let's win some motherfucking money. DJ Nation. Now, we ain't got time for no OT, right? You got your show?
I got the OT time, Kenny. Unless you want to come onto the Rotorball and PGA show with me.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. I think that was a pretty good show. What are we naming this?
Oh, something to do with food. I don't know. I also had God Touched Us.
I love it.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the Molly and I think it's be my third.